Hey, yeah, I'm back at it again with another review video, but this is more like update of where we've been, because we've been busy a lot. I just wanted, oh, that's something that fell off my desk. I just wanted to show you how a Kythera actually works while I yap about what we've been doing. This is a SEMA Platinum upper and lower. This is not part, this is a real receiver. I can go back there. But this is my SEMA Platinum upper, and this is a SEMA BAMF lower. It's also from their Platinum. This is a Lancer Tactical polymer hop-up with a replacement clip. I don't know how well you can see that because I have you jury-rigged up there. The only thing really annoying about these SEMA Platinums is that they come with this screw. And that screw is a T6 star key, which is falling out of this kit. So yeah, I would recommend replacing this screw. I know I'm being a little quick here. Our time is not limited really. I just want to get to the hard parts and take my time on the hard parts, because this is just the disassembly. This is easy. Oh wait, I don't need to bite that out yet. I still need it. So yeah, this is how you take apart an AEG. You gotta unscrew this guy right here. It can be annoying sometimes. I like my release. Oh wait, I didn't take it out. I'm so smart. And come on, that's out. That is out, okay. So this is our release with a little T6 star key. This is a PDW stock that came with the Rapid Strike, as Evike calls it. I did not get this from Evike. This is designated as the SEMA 106. I'm gonna toss that on my bed. I just want to show you how a Kythera works, because it does have some unique parts. I've been having some issues with my Kythera, but that's more with the hop-up rather than the Kythera. Oh. Broken piece of an Allen key. For this, you gotta unscrew a little plate in here. This is a P2 screwdriver. It's very long, yes. But yeah, me and the goobers have been busy because we went up to Georgia with our editor. He has a property up there. We played a lot. Didn't get that good of footage because the field we went to was very new, with very loose rules and not so good refs. They were not paying attention. But things happen. It's airsoft. I need a flashlight. Yeah, it's on my desk. I'll be right back. Oh, that's bright. Anyway, another minor part that you don't really have to do, but since my gearbox doesn't have it installed, I don't have to remove this. Oh no, I still have to remove this. This is undercarriage. This is under the gearbox, not undercarriage. You just remove it like that. Pretty simple. Now, on to the most annoying part of this. That's gonna be fun. I forgot where I left my T-handle. Something like that. I snapped for you. So yeah, there's that. That's all going to be edited out, so you guys won't have to deal with the suffering I just went through, because I do not have an elongated one of these. Yeah, I don't know where it went. Oh, that attached to my flashlight. As you can see, I have done some modifications. I have a amped airsoft IGL. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called an IGL. Let me turn up my lights real quick. Never mind, I don't have any lights to turn up, but this is as bright as it gets. So this is going to have to be attached somewhere. Nowhere is where it's going to be attached, because I don't have anything that's going to attach to it, because none of my stuff is made out of metal. Okay, well, now you see we got the grip off and the other part off. Let me fix let me clear off some of these things and grab my hole punch set. Yes, that is what we want. I do not want anything else. This is my hole puncher, I swear. Okay. Me and the goobers, we're trying to work out things with the channel, but we're busy sometimes. I got things to do. We got one guy who doesn't edit, and then, or well, you know, Pickle Man doesn't edit. Anyways, I'm gonna have to go silent for a bit so I can hold this flashlight in my mouth so I can hit this pin through. There we are. Oh, where'd that go? All right. So yeah, that's your trigger pin. You should only have one of those. Yeah, I only have one of those. And then the last thing holding this gearbox in, for me, some receivers are different. This is a SEMA. I always buy SEMA because I like their quality and I like what they're made of. And I like how simple they are. And also they're cheap. You just push through this rear pin right here. There we are. And there. And that should be it. It should just take some finagling. Sometimes you gotta remove the safety. I don't gotta remove this. This is cut down far enough for me. You guys will have to remove this if you're using a SEMA. Hey, there we are. And I will just explain to you what's gonna happen when I make this cut here. When this cut happens, these screws will be removed. There are going to be 4 short screws. Those go on the top here, and there's going to be 4 long screws. Those can be found here, here, and here. Oh wait, there's 5 long screws. Okay, so remember that, guys. 5 long screws, and the 4 go across the top. This is the Kythera, by the way. Very cool engine, full mechanical. I need to do some testing on it to see what it can endure. This is not what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this, so, you know. Okay, there's that done. That was what I told you. These 5 long screws, this is for a SEMA gearbox, by the way. I would always recommend trying to match your gearbox to your brand, because I got a Retro Arms, and it really did not want to play well. Those are your 4 short screws that go across the top. Anyways, now with all that out of the way, it brings you to the Kythera, which, as you can see, does not rely on a electric system. It only requires air, and this is your physical reset right here. So if, oh, I'm holding the, dang, wait, let me get this set up. So, easiest way to reset this, oh wait, trigger's already primed. Okay, so, there. And this, you rewire through your stock or your grip. I prefer it through my stock. You pull it, cock that nozzle. This trigger is fully adjustable with those 2 screws, which are, this is a imperial, which is inches, rather than what we're used to, which is metric, I believe. Those are in millimeters versus these, which are in inches and all that. So keep that in mind when you go to do this, because you'll strip the screws. There's also a spring here, and there's shims on the inside, so the screw presses down on those. This is a longer screw for your over travel. I'm not going to take it apart here. I just want to explain how this thing works, because this takes a while to get in here. I have a heavy spring for the pressure. They send you 2 springs. One's already installed. It's a weaker spring, which is meant for lower PSI. I think it's like 60 to 100, while I have the heavy spring, which is about 80, 90 to like 160. So I can crank up my PSI and use it, because this is meant for my DMR heavy duty build. Does not get full auto, sadly. I know. I've heard people do binary with this, but that requires some fine tuning that I do not think would be healthy for the gun. But yeah, you just click it, boom. I'll get my HPA set up real quick. And I am back. Let me move some things out of the way. I know I have a very, very messy thing, or a very messy workspace. And yes, I'm connecting the IGL directly to the tank. There we are. And then with a click of a button and the wave of my hand, it's not reset. There we are. So you can short stroke, or no, you can decrease the volume of this nozzle with a metering screw that's on the inside. I didn't mess with that because that's like a manual nozzle dwell there. I didn't mess with it whatsoever. I just kept it as this. What I'm trying to fix with my current build is my hop-up seal, that's what it was. But I've got the trigger light and all that. I set it up. And for SEMA gearboxes, which is what I recommend, I love SEMA, D1 Blazer, something like that. This thing drops in perfectly. Now for some gearboxes, I believe it's VFC, they have an issue where it will not drop in perfectly, and you will need a 0.152 shim, I think is what they call it. And that is in inches, so it's 0.1, it's 0.15 of an inch. God, that was hard for me to get out. I need to find out how I want to wire this. Oh, that's all my shims. Oh yeah, by the way, when you're installing this, keep in mind there is a couple shims on this line that keep it in place. And they are a little bit annoying to mess with. You gotta like, yeah, sorry, this is going out of view. Because you'll find out if you ever mess with it. I think I'm special. Sorry, wait, let me get my flashlight in here. Let me move some things aside. Oh, dang it. That's a standard AEG trigger, though. So keep that in mind. I just have an EMG one. Okay, there's that done. This is how you want the shims. You want all three in here. I feel like there was a fourth, but I don't want to risk it. I don't want to go back and looking for it. Push that down. That is a very annoying screws to be dealing, or very annoying shims to be dealing with. Standard AEG trigger, I said that. This clicks your trigger bar. So the only issue, oh, by the way, do not adjust your trigger too light or else it won't cycle and it'll cause issues. Same if you use too low of PSI, it will not cycle since it's a pneumatic, or no, it's mechanical. So this sandwiches perfectly right here. There's no wiggle once I get these two things together. And let me rewire my thing through the stock. However, with this IGL, which I do recommend because the standard line will probably rip and tear, this is meant to be long lasting and heavy duty. This will require trimmed out, and same with your QDS spring guide. Anyways, those are the shortcomings of the SEMA gearbox, which is really what this review is about. I've been lying to you the entire time. I love SEMA. That was probably healthy for it. Yeah, it's together. And my trigger's in there, let's cock it. And another cut to when I'm done with this. And with that done, now we can move back on to seeing if everything fit into place. Put my tank back here, let's connect it. And by the way, since this is no longer an AEG and it's an HPA system, you can effectively suppress it, because the only noise from this machine is from the air coming out here and the little in the nozzle. By the way, when you're working on this and taking it apart, make sure to not get your hair in it. That will cause air fissure, or not air fissures, air leaks. And I found that out because I'm a very long-haired person and my hair got stuck in it and it started leaking. But basically the only maintenance you got to do on this is like once every 10,000 shots, you got to lubricate this nozzle and I think some of the inside parts. Polarstar themselves do sell replacement parts, obviously, like metering screws. And I seem to have misplaced my lower. No, I have not. I'm not that dumb. This flashlight can go off. So how I did this here was I just pushed that wire. And by the way, that wire is through where the original wires go through. If you have a rear wired AEG, they go through there. And then all of these things should just smash themselves into place and take some wiggling and all that. Oop, there we are. And now what I do is I look through here to make sure the holes line up for this rear pin. And this rear pin will be your guide. There we go. And now we can get to assembling everything. So first on the list is this guy, which if you remember is our trigger pin, which we then push in here. Let me push in this front pin. Let me push this in here. Drop. Ball peen hammer, anything that's small with a contact point will work. Don't worry, it's meant to do that, I swear. Sorry, I'm getting a little angry here. Go in. So you want this to be flush with the receiver, so that's why I'm using this. Wait, let me just... I swear I'm not missing from this close. God dang it. Okay, well that's not wanting to go in. You can see that, okay. You want that part right there that's sticking out. You don't know if you can really see it, but there's a little bit of the trigger pin sticking out. You want that to be flush, but since I'm a little special, I don't want it to be flush. And that is a choice that I have made, and I have decided that I want. And oh yeah, you also have to remember, there is a spring. It's this guy. This is for the mag release, which is what I will be putting in next. So I'm trying to line up this guy here. Okay. And now I've magically put that back in, and that, I swear that didn't take me 5 minutes to do. Yeah, now my flashlight smells like spit. Okay, next part. This would be a lot harder if you had a physical safety and all that, and a physical bolt catch. I do not have one of those. So all I gotta do... Okay, now that that's installed, what I typically do is I can't really see that well. Yeah, that's good. Not reinstalling that grip until I can get my T-handle. I don't know where that is. Probably should have gotten that before I started this, but you know, that's fun. Those are the 3 grip screws that would have gone in here. This right here goes on here. And SEMA buffer tubes, I should have one somewhere. I'll magically re-up here with that and be back. Okay, so what you saw me install before, or de-install, was a PDW stock. I just dropped the screw. This is how it goes in. It goes into the QD, or well, the spring guide, and it hooks this in. This castle nut doesn't do anything. This castle nut actually does something, but it also keys in. So you gotta twist this at about like 45 degrees. There, you see? So my buffer tube isn't straight on. My gun's straight on. And drop, click. And then you rotate this castle nut. You can tighten it down with pliers or whatever you want. Maybe if you really are into it, you can whip out one of these tools, if I can find it. One of these guys, a spanner or armorer's wrench. Now, I'm not technologically inclined with this thing, and I don't think I have the right one for this. The flashlight's doing things. So, Obviously, as you can see, I built this to be like a M4 carbine because I got an A2 carbine stock. I do not have the front yet because there is plethoras of issues I gotta fix first. But now we have that. And with that, I can get my other part. Here's my other part. This is a 20-inch M16. And yes, I know what I'm doing is heresy. Make sure you have that pin right there moved. I almost slammed my thing into it. And you're not gonna be able to see this because it's a very long gun. Sometimes you gotta pinch the rear here, the rear of your gearbox. I don't think I have the issue now, but there'll be like a little bit of the upper receiver sticking out, and you're gonna wanna have to, oh wait, I did it. There, you're gonna have to pinch that down. So I'm gonna obviously take, or actually I can do it here. There, I pinched it, slid in. Now I can whammer. No, I can't, that is off center. I do not wanna jam that anymore, okay? I'm gonna do this off camera a little bit so I can look at it. And magical whammer. Oh, that went right in. Didn't even need the whammer, could have just pushed it in. And now we have this as my Magpul M16. I do have a Magpul, or not a Magpul, but a copy of the precision rifle stock that Magpul makes. It's not on here right now since it adds another 2 pounds to my gun. And also I don't use DMR and CTB because my FPS is horrendous. And I think it's some air sealing in right there. That's a Lancer Tactical CNC hop up. And I think that's causing me some grief because I know my bucking and nub aren't. In all my guns, I always use a Maple Leaf Mr. Hop with according FPS, so like a 70 degree and 80 degree. I always use the right for my FPS. My DMR is about a 400 FPS. I don't know which Mr. Hop that was, but it is a Mr. Hop. And I have the corresponding Omega nub from Maple Leaf. Do that in all my guns because it works. And now to show you the noise. So I'm gonna give you a noise test here. Currently I have an A2 flash hider, if you saw that. I'll give you a little peek once I'm attaching my line. I will actually attach a line this time. So, line, this is an amp regulator and an HK Army bottle. 48 CI, 3000 PSI, and I am on 90, maybe 100 PSI right now. So no grip, because you know, that's a pain for me to install. That's an A2 flash hider. It's very loud. And now if I unscrew that, it's not keyed in properly because somehow we stripped the threads that were there. And this right here is an actual oil can with duct tape on it. Olive green or olive drab duct tape because it was originally bright orange because it's a Fram oil filter. And this specific model, I think it's a 9010. It's something like that. FD 9010. Screws directly into a 23 millimeter clockwise. Now, if you're tech savvy or know anything about, you know, old AKs, they use a 23 millimeter clockwise thread, which means it threads directly onto the gun. So this is a converter right here. Now the actual threads in here are not 23 millimeter clockwise, so it's not Mod Podge, it's JB welded in, but they do screw in and stick, so you can easily get like Loctite or JB weld in there to fill in the seams. And with that, you can see my hole's a little covered. So let me pry that open so there's nothing blocking it. Significant noise reduction. Oh yeah, and also my safety doesn't work because I don't have the safety bar in there. My gun is as simple as can be. And this wire here is for manually cocking the nozzle when it fails to cock itself, which can happen when you have too much pressure on the nozzle. I can't pull that back all the way, but feeding issues, I don't really know. This doesn't seem like they work. Haven't had feeding issues with it yet. You'll see some upcoming footage with that. I'll give you some accuracy tests, maybe an FPS check once I get all this together, and I'll post this just as a breakdown of what we've been doing and this one of many HPA systems that I have been working on. So with that, I love y'all.